my reading playlist, Choose How Much I Read in the Week. I don't think I've been this perplexed by a rating to give a book since I read Razorblade Tears however many months ago. This was so much better than I expected it to be. Hello my friends, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's video, where today we are going to be doing another TBR takedown, and this week's theme is I'm going to be having my reading playlist Choose How Much I Read in the Week. Now you guys might be a little bit confused when I say that. Basically, I have a reading playlist called Shut Up, I'm Reading, and it's like, I don't know, it's like 20-ish hours long, I would say, but they're basically songs that I love to listen to whenever I try and like read a book like without like a audiobook in the background pretty much. And I have a bunch of different songs related to different moods, different things, and just things that I really kind of like listening to while I'm reading. They're mostly songs that I have listened to for a long time, so I can kind of like put it in the background while I put the book as the main focus. And basically what we're going to do is each day this week, I'm basically going to hit shuffle on that playlist, and whatever song pops up, whether or not like, let's say that the song is like 3 minutes and like 20 seconds, I'll be reading for like 3 hours and 20 minutes that day pretty much. I hope that makes sense, but I kind of tweaked this a little bit from Sarah Caroli's video that she did of like using her Spotify Wrapped to choose how much she reads in the week. But yeah, that's kind of pretty much what the plan is today. So I'm like recording this fairly late-ish in the day. It's like 3:45 as I am recording this. So I'm hoping that we get a fairly short-ish song. It's like, how many hours is it? Yeah, it's 28 hours and 32 minutes with like 400 plus songs, I would say. And before we get into choosing how long we are going to be reading for today, I actually have a couple of bookish updates. So as you guys know from last week's video, you guys saw me reading Heartstopper. So I have kind of been putting kind of like the like regular books aside so that I could like read Heartstopper. And I tell you what, I needed that reset because I am in such a mood to read. Like I felt like I was kind of in like a reading / like genre slump for a long time, but then rereading those books and of course like doing all of that stuff kind of revitalized why I love reading in the first place. So the first update that I have is I officially started listening / reading to The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. According to the audiobook, I've made it to chapter 20, which let me check actually what chapter I'm at, because I feel like I am a little bit farther in than I expected to be. Yep, okay, yeah, I've made it to chapter 20, which is like, according to my audiobook, it says 42%, but then when I look on my Kindle, it says 45, so I'm gonna kind of meet halfway in the middle, say that I'm like 43% of the way through, depending on like which one you look at, honestly, and I'm not too sure how I'm feeling about it. I think that the premise is very interesting. I do kind of see some things that are kind of getting on my nerves. Specifically, it is Larissa not wanting to break up with Mike just to like not hurt his feelings pretty much. And I will say Chris is very much being portrayed as like the perfect bookish boyfriend. Like he's thinking about random things and like things that like she told him like a long time ago that haven't left his mind as well too. So it's really kind of selling the fact that Chris is a much better match for Larissa, and you can just tell that that Happy is kind of making Mike look kind of like a douchebag, which I don't know how to feel about that, honestly, but that's kind of where I'm at and such. I don't really have too much else to say. I think with me listening to the audiobook is kind of helping me kind of like propel myself forward, you know? So that is book number 1 updated. And then the next book that I have been trying to read, but then I put it down when I was reading Heartstopper, is Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver. I have not made it too far into this. I'm only on page 113, and it low-key kind of has been a little bit of a week since I have picked up this book officially, and I need to because, one, I'm genuinely really curious to see kind of what happens, you know, and it's honestly kind of the perfect summer read, you know. That might seem a little bit on the weirdish side, but basically, I think I told you guys what this one was about, but basically it follows this girl named this girl named Harper. She basically is kind of like the keeper of Cape Carnage. She kind of like deals with the unruly tourist, and she's kind of helping her aging mentor out who has like dementia and like early Alzheimer's, something along that lines. But then Nolan comes to town, and Nolan is basically on the hunt for Harper pretty much. Something happened to him in his youth. He lost somebody very important that is kind of related to Harper in general as well. And kind of following from there. And then as they kind of like taunt each other as well, this amateur like crime sleuth comes into town, like true crime sleuth, basically comes into town trying to look for a serial killer that has not been in operation for a long time. So Harper and Nolan kind of call a temporary truce. And at the time that I got to in the book, we just set up the truce. So I'm really kind of curious to see what follows from there. Like I said, I'm not that far in. I'm only, maybe I would call this maybe like 20%, I would say. It doesn't look too bad, honestly, but I would probably say I'm like 20% into this. And more than likely, the book that I will probably be reading for the majority of the day today is Taurus season, because it's been a long time since I have read it, and I want to kind of dive back into this story. Those are my reading updates. So let me pull up the reading playlist and get that going. Yeah, so as you guys can see, we have the reading playlist right here and such. So I'm not gonna screen record it because I just don't feel like screen recording it, but I am going to like let the song play for like a second and then just continue on from there. So I'm going to click shuffle right now. Oh, wow, it's Summertime Sadness by Lana Del Rey. Can y'all see that? I hope y'all can see that here. Yep, there you go. Okay, so that song is 4 minutes and 25 seconds. So that means we're gonna be reading for 4 hours and 25 minutes today. My God. That's gonna be a lot, especially since it's almost 4 o'clock now as I'm recording this intro and such. But yeah, I am going to put on a timer, and yeah, I will basically show you guys a little bit. Not really show you guys, but like, yeah, I'm going to start reading. So that's our first day. So let's see how it goes. Okay, friends, I have officially made it at least 50% of the way through. At least it looks 50%. That to me looks like 50% at least. And not gonna lie, I calculated it on Fable just to check and see where I was at. But I've made it 50% into Taurus Season by Bryn Weaver. I currently have about 2 hours and... what is it? Yeah, 2 hours and 47 minutes left on the timer. And I am really, really liking this story for some reason. I'm not sure why. I don't know what exactly is in the air with this story, but with Taurus season, I'm loving this. This is a really random thing where like, I never thought that I would be someone who would like dark rom-coms, but then when I first read Butcher and Blackbird back in 2025, for the first time I actually read that, it really kind of shocked me with how much I actually do like her writing style. And that was one of the first ever dark romances that I ever read in my entire life. And mostly because of the fact that it doesn't take itself too seriously, which I feel like sometimes a lot of dark romances kind of fall into that thing of like, oh, well, you gotta take it seriously because, you know, like, whatever, you know? But this one, it literally is just following these two serial killers who are basically trying to like fight for their lives to make sure that like nobody gets found out and nobody gets caught. And I just read their first like spice scene together. It was actually written fairly well. I didn't find myself skipping over most of it. It was actually written in a very like tolerable way, which I didn't really expect to see. It was brutal, of course, you know, because a lot of like the scenes within there, like one of the trigger warnings that was brought up was in that scene as well too, which obviously makes sense. But I am honestly really liking this story. I have been binging it for the past like 2-ish hours, I would say, since I started it around like, I don't know when exactly I started. I think I started it around 4 o'clock, but like it's like 5:40 right now. I've been binging it for almost 2 hours, not quite 2 hours, you know, but like I just had to come on here and just kind of like check in with y'alls and tell you guys a little bit about what I'm feeling as well too, you know. But I am really liking this story. I'm loving Harper. Something that I was thinking when going into this, if you guys have read the Ruinous Love trilogy, then you know a little bit about the female main character and where she kind of fits within her kind of like, I don't know if she has like a universe for her books yet, but she fits somewhere in the category of where we first met her in Butcher and Blackbird, and then we get a revisit of her when it's later on pretty much, you know? And it's kind of one of those things where you didn't expect it, but also it makes a whole lot of sense because of the fact the main crux of this story is Nolan trying to find Harper and kill her because he thinks that she basically killed his brother and then left them to die. When in reality, Harper's story is a lot complicated than we think, and it's a lot more complicated than what Nolan thinks it is. And there was also a funny little scene where they were drinking some fake blood, because one of the main things with Cape Carnage is that it really kind of like leans into the scary vibes and spooky vibes of things, you know, nothing like haunted or like anything along that line, just like creepiness and things like that. But there was a scene where they were doing a little stakeout for something related to what was going on within the story, and they were having some fun making like some I think it was like s'mores or whatever, and they had this blood bag of some kind where it was like fake blood that was strawberry flavored, and Nolan drank it, you know, and one of Harper's like things was like, don't drink too much because like, or no, I don't know if she actually said that, but it was just like, you know, these things will change your life. I don't know if I can say it on the internet or not. I think I can. I think I can and such, but like, it was, the stuff basically has like psychedelics. I'm pretty sure the psychedelics are shrooms, but I could be very wrong. So that was really kind of funny to watch and kind of interesting seeing their dynamic kind of change a little bit as well, because one of them is leaning more into the fact that like, oh, like I'm actually kind of like attracted, I'm like sexually attracted to you, so I don't know if I can kill you. While the other one is also on the thing of like, yeah, I like you, you're good looking too, but they still have this urge to try and kill that person, you know? And it's kind of a little bit interesting seeing that dichotomy and how it kind of changes, or how it's more than likely going to change as we go on through the book. And I'm really curious to see how it's going to go. And so far, I'm loving this. I really am liking it. It's probably in the 4-star category, maybe 4.25, but right now I am just genuinely enjoying this story. I forgot how much I love Bryn Weaver's like writing style, mostly because of the fact that like whenever reading these books, these darker romance books, or even like darker like fantasies and things like that, I always kind of put up a little bit of a barrier to be like, okay, don't think on that too much, don't like do that too much. Like, don't like dwell on the facts, because sometimes if I dwell, then I can really kind of take it into myself, and that's not always the greatest thing in the entire world. But yeah, so far, if I were to give it a rating, I would give it a 4-star. I don't know if I'm going to finish it tonight, but I might finish it maybe tomorrow. We shall see. But according to my timer, I've got a little bit less than like 2 hours and like 40-ish minutes left on the timer. So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm going to put in my earbuds and then take a break from tourist season and listen to a little bit of The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez, or maybe even take a break and read the Nick and Charlie novella. We shall see, because I just finished up volume 6 and I'm kind of a little bit in just like a like sadness with that, but like we shall see how that goes. Honestly, I probably won't record until like I have maybe like an hour, maybe 30 minutes left on the timer, but you guys will see that as we go on throughout the video and such. So yeah, that's kind of like my halfway update of tourist season, and I will see you guys when it is almost time to stop reading for the day. Good morning, besties, and happy day 2 of the reading vlog. As you guys saw yesterday, I pretty much read a lot of books, and recently I have not been able to sit down and binge like books like that in a really, really long time, honestly. So it's currently day 2. Right now, I was listening to a little bit of Morbid, but we're going to shuffle over to the reading playlist. So I'm hoping that we get kind of like a lower like song, maybe around like the 3:30-second mark or like something along that lines, you know. But then again, I also wouldn't be too upset at a longer song. This morning I gotta do some errands and such, so I'll definitely be like pausing the timer whenever I'm not actively reading / actively listening and such. My plan, if I can get through The Night We Met, I might be able to, but if not, I'm gonna try and read a little bit more of tourist season as well, because of me wanting to get to my like July TBRs as well too. It's just something that I'm itching to get to it, and I have a couple of like holds on Libby that are like coming to fruition, being like, hey, you can listen to this if you want to, and I kind of want to finish The Night We Met first so that I can start listening to that, and then probably when I get home, probably later tonight, honestly, after I've done some editing and things like that, I will more than likely be reading a little bit more of tourist season. But I'm going to go ahead and hit shuffle on the reading playlist, and let's see what pops up. Oh my god, this is perfect. Very off-campusy, but we got On the Floor by J-Lo featuring Pitbull. Oh man, that is hilarious. Okay, so this song is 4 minutes and 44 seconds. So it's a little bit longer than Summertime Sadness, actually. So, that actually works out really, really well, to be honest with you. If I listen to The Night We Met on the car ride up to the errands that I need to go to as well, I can kill like an hour of that book, honestly, on the way to and back as well. So, wow. That's really convenient, honestly. Okay, so I'm going to get the timer ready to when I decide to actually start it. I don't think I'm going to take this big camera. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Pocket 3 camera with me so that I don't have to like worry about carrying around this big camera and worrying about like tripods and things like that. I'll still probably bring my tripod with me, but I've got the timer queued up, so I will more than likely start that when I am getting into the car, and specifically when I'm starting to head out and do some stuff. Oh my god, that's amazing. I love that so much. That's great and very perfect for like off-campus vibes as well too, considering I just finished watching that as well too. Wow. Huh. That was a great little song choice, honestly. That was great. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm going to start my day of reading. Okay, friends, as you guys just saw, I finished reading / listening to The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez, and como se dice, I don't know how to feel. Like, I don't think I've been this perplexed by a rating to give a book since I read Razorblade Tears however many months ago. Let me start with the structure first and foremost, because you guys know I don't really plan these too much in advance. I gotta talk how much I want to talk. And let me just start out with the fact of the beginning. I tried my best to put my anonymous ears things on and just like basically just like not get into my head or specifically get into like different people's reviews and things like that of the book. And the way that it started out, I was like, okay, this could be very, very interesting. But then as it kept going, it kind of just kept on becoming more unhinged. And by the 50% mark, like I thought that we were going to get the breakup like around that time period. But then when they still hadn't broken up, I was like, what is going to push them to break up? And then around the 70%, 75% mark, roughly around that time, something happened that's kind of related to a spoiler and such, so I'm not going to say it, but something happened and I was like, okay, yeah, that is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And honestly, I get why it had to be done in the way that it did, but at the same time, I felt so infuriated by these characters. And I didn't even get too, well, actually, I did get pissed off in the characters in Razorblade Tears because they were just menaces to society, in my opinion. But I wouldn't even call Chris and Larissa menaces to society. I would just call them adults trying to figure out what the hell is happening and having really, really, really poor communication skills, you know? And I get it. I get exactly what Abby was trying to say. She was basically trying to have them be kind of like set in their ways from how they were and specifically how they are supposed to learn and grow from each other. Like they were brought into each other's lives to learn like, oh, you can grow with this person and you can grow just in general. But at the same time, it felt really, really, really lackluster in many, many ways. I don't know how to explain it without like completely spoiling it, and I don't really want to spoil it just in case people still want to read this book. But for me, it was just very underwhelming. And by the end, I did like the last like 20% of the book that we got. I did like that aspect, but then also at the same time, I was just like, why the fuck do you alls care? why do you care about what they think? Why do you care about like that stuff? And I get it. You know, you don't want to hurt the people that you really love. And it really did kind of relate into Chris's trauma and how he needed to deal with his trauma. And especially when you are grown adults and you still have the same friends that you had in middle school and high school, and you sometimes need to learn how to grow with those people and such, and not try and fall back into the ways that you guys did back in high school pretty much. And I could see a lot of that influence in this book. And also something that I really liked or not really liked, but like there was something that I read in the author's note, and there was something related to allergies. You guys know that I have severe food allergies to dairy and eggs. I used to have a severe nut allergy, but then I outgrew it. Specifically, I outgrew peanuts and almonds. Like I can do those, and that's no problem whatsoever. But the main character in this story, Larissa, she has a peanut allergy. And like around like the 70-80% of the book, she kind of gets a reaction to anaphylaxis in a way that I was actually thinking about doing for my current book that I'm actively writing right now. And I'm like, how did I know that that was how the anaphylactic shock was going to happen? And I was really curious to see if Abby was going to try and do it from the point of view of Larissa or do it from the point of view of Chris, and she ultimately chose to do it through Chris. I don't really consider this too much of a spoiler because it's in the author's note and things like that. But the way that the anaphylaxis shot was handled afterwards, if you guys don't know how to deal with that, the person who has the allergy will always carry an EpiPen or an AviQ type of thing. And basically what happens if the person is going to anaphylactic shock, you have to basically just stick them in the leg for 10-ish seconds or so, and then immediately, and I mean immediately, take them to the hospital. I remember one time when I was younger, I almost at one point refused to go to the hospital while I was having anaphylactic shock, but my mom was like, no, bitch. My mom's upstairs, so she can more than likely hear me talking about this. I just heard her laugh. She's like, no, bitch, you're going to the damn hospital. I'm not gonna have you die on me. Oh, jeez. But anyways, you have to take the person to the emergency room. And after they had the rescue shot, that didn't happen. So honestly, I am very, very torn about this book. I don't think I can give it a 3-star because it's not even something that I would maybe I would recommend, but I can't give it a 2-star because that seems too low and that seems way too mean, in my opinion. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put it as a 2.5 for now. I'll put it as a 2-star on Goodreads and 2.5 on Fable, but when thinking about this book, I don't have good memories or good associations with it, and that is mostly because of the way that they handled the anaphylaxis reaction, pretty much, of Larissa going into anaphylactic shock. It really grinded my gears, and they're good together. I will say that. But also, Abby was basically writing Chris to be the perfect boyfriend for Larissa. And I get why she did that. But also, why'd she have to throw Mike under the bus like that? Why did she have to throw him under the bus? I mean, when his book comes out, probably sometime around next year, I might read it. We shall see. But I don't think I can give this any higher than a 3-star. So I'm going to give it a 2.5, honestly, which I hate saying that because I always try and find books that I know that I will love. I know my reading taste, but I also know that I want to explore and I don't want to just put myself in a box, because if I put myself in a box, I get annoyed very easily. But anyways, I'm gonna keep talking and such. I could probably keep ranting about this for a while, but to check back in on the timer that we have on my phone, I currently have about 2 hours and 2-ish minutes left on the timer, as y'all can see right there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a break from reading, and I'm going to edit for maybe about an hour. I'm going to edit the Heartstopper vlog and such. That's going to be going up the week, obviously, before you see this vlog. And then I'm probably going to get back into reading Taurus season and things like that, you know, and maybe I might start listening to either Black Cake or The Husbands. I'm not too sure which one I'm feeling quite yet, but yeah, those are my final thoughts on The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. I wish I loved it more than I did. It was just one of those things where it really kind of does like depend on your preference, and I'm someone who, when I see allergies and specifically food allergy representation within books, I think it's great. Like the way that Chris handled it was fabulous, and also the neglect that sometimes happens with this. But like at the same time, the way that they dealt with the aftermath of Larissa going into anaphylactic shock really just took the toll of the book down for me and such. So yeah. 2.5, I'm going to go put this on the shelf. I'm going to edit for an hour, and then you guys will see me restarting the timer and more than likely reading Taurus season. And if I'm not reading Taurus season, then I'm probably reading one of the other books from my July TBR right behind me. Bro, why'd that scare me? I knew it was coming. Why the fuck did that scare me? Good morning, friends. It is currently day 3 of the vlog. It is Tuesday, July 14th. As of recording this right now, I've got my phone ready to go. And this morning, randomly, what I decided to do, just kind of give you guys a little bit of a life update, but you guys know I usually make my chai in the morning. And if not, I usually like have a soda sometimes because I'm just like not feeling the chai or whatever. And something that has been kind of like circulating online a lot, like specifically at Starbucks, is this iced mango cream chai. And I was very curious, but I was never going to actually first try it at Starbucks where they first had it, mostly because of the fact that I was like, I don't know if I completely trust them, and I have mango syrup at home. So what I decided to do is I decided to make my own and such, and surprisingly, it was actually not too bad. I don't think I drink it over a long period of time. I think it's one of those things where you just need to like drink and drink and drink as you go, because after a while it can get a little bit on the sweeter side of things and just like things like that. But that's kind of how like my morning is going. I also am listening to part 3 of the Green River killings that Morbid is doing, and holy fucking shit is that case brutal. Like I always have to take a break when like ever they're doing like things like that. I'm just like, oh man. But it's currently around 10 o'clock as I'm recording this. I am pulling up the Shut Up, I'm Reading playlist right now. So how long did I read for yesterday? I think it was like 4 hours and 44 minutes or so. My only main thing that I really need to do today is finish up the rough cut of the Heartstopper vlog and then add in the music a little bit later this afternoon as well too. So I'm hoping I get a little bit of a like shorter song today, but we shall see how it goes. All right, so I just turned up the volume and I'm about to hit shuffle on the playlist. Ooh. Is it gonna go? Hello? Oh man. Okay, so we got Canyon Moon by Harry Styles. Can y'all see that? I hope you all can see that. So this is actually one of my favorite songs of Harry's. I'm not like a very big, like avid Harry fan, but I like his music every once in a while. And this song is 3 minutes and 9 seconds. So that means I'm gonna be reading for 3 hours and 9 minutes today. Like I said yesterday, I'm still reading Taurus season. I started a little bit of Black Cake. And honestly, what I'm thinking is if I can try and finish Taurus season today, I am going to try. But if I can get a little bit more into Black Cake as well too, I'll be happy as well too, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun little day. I probably won't start reading until a little bit after lunch, which that gives me pretty much most of the afternoon to do stuff, and then like for the evening to do like editing and work and things like that. Because also I plan on filming a video of talking about bookish related things and such, kind of like a sit down little like podcast type of feely vibes, because I feel like I haven't done that in a little bit, and I have so many thoughts on the different book adaptations and bookish things that are coming up within the bookish space, and I have a microphone and I feel like yapping to the camera, so I might take you guys along with that as well too. But right now I'm going to go edit the Heartstopper vlog as well, and then you guys will see me when I officially start the timer. I don't know whether or not I'm going to start off with Taurus season or end off with Taurus season. I think it just kind of depends on like my mood and what I'm thinking for today, you know? But honestly, reading for 3 hours and 9 minutes is not that bad. You know, I feel like it's one of those things where like it's on the shorter side of things, but you can still get a pretty decent like amount through the book or whatever you're listening to, you know? So, and like I said, I made it like not 80 something. I made it 68% of the way through Taurus season, and it's very funny, very interesting in the plot, and also very tasteful with the spice, which I did not expect. I think I said that a little bit yesterday. And then, like I said, I only just started Black Cake, so I literally cannot tell you anything about that, honestly. So yeah, I will see you guys when I start the timer and start reading for the day. No. Ah. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? What the fuck? Oh my God, dude. What the fuck, bro? What the actual fuck? Oh my God, guys. I just finished reading Taurus season by Bryn Weaver. I'm lost for words. This was so much better than I expected it to be, mostly because of the fact that I didn't really know what this was going to be about. I know that this is the first in a trilogy and such. I have the second book, which is Harvest Season, that came out came out earlier this year. And I was like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Oh my God, I don't think I have loved another dark romance book like this one, honestly. And I am so happy I decided to read it because I've been in a little bit of a just like weird mood with romance as of recently. There's just something about it where I'm just like, I don't know, like the last romance book I just read was The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. And I really did not like that one. And granted, it took me a little bit to finish this, but once I got a little bit more into it and I got a little bit more invested into the characters and where we were at within the story, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, honestly. It was a really, really interesting journey. I did not expect to go on the journey that did. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is crazy. And I think the final rating that I'm going to settle on this is honestly 4.5 stars. It's pretty much in the same league as like Scythe and Sparrow. And you guys know how much I loved reading Scythe and Sparrow. I loved that book so, so much, honestly. And I am like, Bryn is so back. She is so, so back. I felt connected to these two characters probably than I did more with like the Butcher and Blackbird, Leather and Lark than I did with any other dark rom-com pretty much. And I think this is my kind of dark romance, you know? I've been always kind of a little bit of a hesitant when it comes to reading dark romances, mostly because I can sometimes take that shit with me and sometimes it's not always the best thing for me. But with things like this and books like these, like Ruinous Love, now with this, Seasons of Carnage, I don't feel like I need to carry the horrible shit by myself because it's almost kind of making fun of itself. I never realized how much it would be kind of like making fun of itself until I really read her books. When did I start reading them? I think it was back in 2024 was when I read Butcher and Blackbird first because I was very curious and I kind of want to go back and reread that trilogy just to see what I think about it now, honestly, with knowing a little bit more of my reading taste as well. Man, this was so good. The ending, specifically the epilogue, it got me. I did not expect that reveal. That's crazy. I don't know what Harvest Season about. I hope it follows them again, but I don't know. I am really scared for them because we also got a reveal of something happening that is really, really, really bad for Cape Carnage and really bad for Harper as well too. And Nolan just figured out what exactly Harper was hiding in the first place as well. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I really don't want him to know, but also he does need to know because trust can then be fully developed then. But I get why exactly Harper was kind of like hesitant to tell Nolan because she's trying to forget a certain part of her life and why she came to Cape Carnage in the first place. And I wondered exactly if there was going to be a connection between Ruinous Love and the Seasons of Carnage trilogy, and it is. And I figured out what it was right away, and I really liked the way that Bryn decided to weave in the characters and weave in the story as well too. I'm so curious about picking up Harvest Season. I see it on my TBR cart and I'm just like, I need to read it. I 100% need to read it. But I also kind of want to give myself a little bit of a break before I dive into Harvest Season. Plus also, my priority is to also read the books on my July TBR this week as well too. And I'm also going to say it right now, we did not complete the challenge for today. I have like an hour left on the timer, but it's like almost 11 o'clock and I have to get to work tomorrow and I'm kind of on the tired side. So I think what I'm going to do tomorrow is whatever song we get, I'm just going to add an hour to that time and we'll just see how that goes, honestly. But yeah, 4.5 stars with Taurus season. I cannot believe I love this kind of genre of like dark romance. I never expected to, mostly because of the fact that like darker stuff within romance books always kind of freaks me out no matter what exactly is happening in the story. But with these types of stories, and specifically the way that Brynn writes her stuff, she writes it in a way that is very caring to the characters, very funny, very almost kind of silly in a way, but also where the characters know that they are not the greatest humans in the entire world, but they see their darkness in each other and they nourish it and they care for it. And I like that. I like that a lot. I'm still very pissed for where we ended off here, but I have the second book and I'm almost debating not reading the second book until the third one is announced, but I know that's very stupid on my part. But yeah, that is pretty much it that I have, and it's going to be the end of day 3. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow when we figure out what I am going to be reading and how long I'm going to be reading for Wednesday. Good morning again, friends. It is currently the start to day 4 of the challenge. It is currently Wednesday, July 15th. I had to remember exactly what day it was and such. So as you guys saw yesterday, I finished up reading Tourist Season by Brynn Weaver. Loved that book so much. My plan for today is to get the majority of the reading done while I am at work, because thankfully I have a job that allows me to listen to audiobooks while I work, and I am very grateful for that, you know. But let me get the thing put up on the screen and such, or not really put up on the screen, but just get to Spotify and such so that I can figure out how much I'm going to be reading for today. And as you guys know, the timer didn't finish yesterday. I left off with maybe about 1 hour on the timer today. So whatever song we get today, I'm just going to add an hour to that to kind of like satisfy what I didn't get done yesterday. There was just a lot of stuff that just did not happen yesterday, but that is a-okay, honestly. So I think that's pretty much it for morning updates, at least. My book that I plan on reading for the majority of the day / listening to is more than likely Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson, but I did get a thing on Libby saying that the audiobook that I put on hold of Mad Mabel by Sally Hempworth is also ready to be listened to. So for some reason, I'm not feeling Black Cake. I might listen to a little bit of Mad Mabel, but I'm not too sure, honestly. And then I've got my other books over there with like The Husbands, Red Rising, The Berry Pickers, and Delia Green Doesn't Care. If I can get at least 3 books off of my July TBR, I will be as happy as a clam, honestly, you know? We have the playlist ready and queued up. Let's see which song we get when I hit shuffle. Oh, Wanted by One Republic. Oh, this is a shorter song, honestly. One of my favorite songs by them as well, too, where it's like,
I just wanna be wanted. I could use a little love sometimes. I just need to be needed. Oh, like to know I'm crossing someone's mind.
But yeah, that song, that one's a really good song. So this song is 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Wow, that's actually a shorter song than I expected. So in total for today, we'll be reading for 2 hours and 16 minutes plus the added on hour timer, which makes it reading about 3 hours and 16 minutes today. So nice. I think I'll leave a little bit of the timer for when like I'm almost done with reading and such when I get home after work today. So yeah, oh gosh, that's so fun. I'm hoping I can get a little bit more into Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson, so that way I can give you guys a little bit more of my details and how I'm feeling about it. Yeah, I'm only like 19% into it, so not too far. And yeah, it's not too bad. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, you know? So I will see you guys a little bit later when the timer is going, and hopefully I will give you guys some good bookish updates. But yeah, that's my update, and I'll see you guys a little bit later when I am reading. It is time for day 5 of the vlog. I thought I would start with something a little bit different. I don't know. But anyways, it's the start of day 5. It's currently like 9:15 as I'm recording this. I got my phone ready to go. I got my playlist ready to go. Like you guys saw me yesterday, I made it a little bit closer to the halfway mark of Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. I'm hoping to get a little bit of a shorter song today, but I'm not too sure which one I will get today, but that is a-okay, you know? Because yesterday I read for, my original time was like 2 hours and 16 minutes, but I added on an hour timer, so I was able to get a little bit more into Black Cake. And I think what I'm gonna do today, this morning, I've gotta edit my video, and then later this afternoon, I'm going in to work for a half day, and then I am basically just like gonna take you guys along with me when I am reading / listening. I'm gonna try and get the majority of my reading done during like the work day, so I don't have to worry about it too much when I get home, you know? And yeah, I'm just gonna get started. I've got the reading playlist up right here, and then we're going to hit shuffle and see which one pops up for us. Oh man. Oh no. This is... Okay, I said I want a short song. I get one of the longest songs on my playlist, which is Wanna Be Startin' Something by Michael Jackson. You know how long this song is, friends? 6 minutes and 2 seconds. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna be reading for most of the day. And specifically, mostly in the afternoon is when I'm mostly gonna be listening and such. Oh man, I did not expect that, man. Today is actually kind of one of my more busier days of things. So I'm like, okay, now I've got a little bit more of an incentive to get the video done as well too. So yeah, I will see you guys when I have started reading for, oh man, 6 hours and 2 minutes. Oh damn. Oh, damn. I think I bit off more than I could chew with this day. Okay, friends, so you guys are probably wondering why you don't see any footage of me reading yesterday, and that is because I forgot to film yesterday, but that is a-okay. You know, so I don't remember how much time I had on the timer. I think I mostly finished it, but not completely. I think I had maybe like an hour left on the timer. And according to my book, I have like 2 hours and some odd minutes left to listen to Black Cake. And I'm like 83% of the way through. I truly do not know how to feel about this book. Like I care, but also at the same time, I don't care about too much happening. I think if I do get like some good time for like reading today, I will continue listening to it like throughout the day, and you'll more than likely see me finishing it today. But if I have any more time left on the timer, I don't know what other book I'm going to pick up. Maybe I'll start something for the next vlog, but I really don't have any idea at the moment, you know? Yeah, we are basically going to be choosing what I'm going to be, or how long I'm going to be listening to for the last day of this challenge. I'm hoping it's a short song because, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too much into the reading mood. I'm hoping maybe like something that's like a 3-minute song-ish or so. So if I want to start something else, I can. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of in like a working mode type of thing. I need to edit. I need to record. I need to record a Tomodachi Life video because I have not recorded one in a hot minute, but that is a-okay. But we have the playlist up, so we're going to hit shuffle and see what one we get today. Okay, Gorgeous by Taylor Swift, as y'all can see right there. So that is 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Not too bad, actually. Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna get the timer ready to go when I want to start reading. And yeah, we are going to kind of end this day in a hopefully good place. I should be able to finish up Black Cake. And yeah, I will see you guys later when I am reading for the last day of this vlog. Wow. Wow. Oh my god. Okay. Did not expect that. Low key. What? What? Oh my god. Man. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, I need to stop talking. I need to sleep on this, and I will come back to you guys in the morning with my final thoughts on this lovely book. And I'm back, and I have my final thoughts on Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. So with this one, this was definitely a journey. I would say it was a journey specifically in one, like whether or not I actually did like this book or if I really didn't. And by the end, I really did end up enjoying it and kind of going through like my beginning thoughts. The beginning I thought was kind of interesting, but also at the same time, really like during the beginning, we got so many POVs of so many moving parts within this story that it really kind of overwhelmed me. And I was like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. But then something at like the 80% mark kind of shifted in my brain to where kind of in the beginning, I didn't really feel too much for the characters. I didn't really care too much about their fates or what exactly happened. But then by the end, I found myself like, oh shit, I actually care about these characters and I care about their well-being. So I think my final rating for this is going to be just a solid 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I definitely would recommend it. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I read it right now rather than like trying to read it like earlier in my reading career, because I tried to read this at one point earlier in my reading career, but it just did not work out because I had this book since January of 2022, the like 6 months before I graduated high school. So it's been sitting on my shelf for a really long time. And I'm really glad I did read it. It was a very heartbreaking story, a very loving story as well too, learning about like what exactly Eleanor went through and learning more about these two estranged siblings, Benny and Byron, and figuring out what exactly happened between the two of them, what exactly happened between their loved ones and things like that, and how family is such a complicated being and entity within the world and things like that. And it's just one of those things where like it's a great story to read if you are feeling definitely family drama with the literary side of things, but also make it Black and Chinese, like American. No, not American. I would say like Chinese Caribbean, I would say, you know, and I don't have any family from the Caribbean and such. Most of my like ancestors come from like Britain, Scotland, Africa, Congo, things like that, you know? So I don't have any technical connection to the Caribbean like these guys do, but I can understand where that family history lies. And honestly, if I could make a black cake and eat a black cake, I probably would. It probably wouldn't be too hard to make it non-dairy, but overall, I really did enjoy this story. I would highly recommend it if you are looking for a story like this where it's not always a told story, because it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is an interesting story because of the fact that it follows a Black Chinese Caribbean based family, and you don't really see that much within popular culture. And I'm pretty sure this was her debut novel as well too, Charmaine Wilkerson's, I believe. So yeah, I really enjoyed this story, and I really liked it. And so that is going to be the end of the video. You guys didn't see me finish out the timer yesterday because, not gonna lie, I only maybe like listened to a little bit of another book, and then I just decided to call it quits and low-key forgot to stop the timer, but that is a-okay. But we made some good progress in this video. We finished 3 books this week, which I'm like, that's crazy to say. The first books, I believe, that we finished, I'm just gonna put that right there for now, I believe was The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. That one is a 2.5. I did not enjoy that one personally. It was just one of those things where the characters annoyed me, the structure of the book annoyed me. There was a really like bad thing regarding like the anaphylactic shock reaction that really just kind of grinded my gears, and it was just overall not the best book in the entire world, you know? And then we read Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver. That one was a 4.5. Loved that book so much. I cannot wait to dive into Harvest Season when I get the chance as well. And I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping that Bryn announces what the 3rd book is going to be called in this trilogy, but I have no idea. But I really enjoyed that one as well. And then of course you guys just heard me yap about Black Cake. That was a 4-star. So if we were gonna rank the books that I read this week, number 1 is Tourist Season, 2 is Black Cake, and number 3 is The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. But I did get 2 of my TBR books out of the way, which I'm like grateful for. Like, this is probably the best I've been like ahead within my TBRs, and I'm just like, hell yeah, brother. But anyways, this is gonna be the end of the video. So thank you guys again so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please make sure to like and comment down below. If you don't know what to comment down below, tell me what kind of music you guys listen to whenever you are reading books, or tell me what your reading playlist is preferably. If you liked me, please make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. You guys know I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. To learn the specifics of what uploads are on each day, they will be in the description down below as well too. If you want to follow me somewhere else on the internet, I have my Fable, my Goodreads, my TikTok, my Instagram, and by the time that this one comes out, I should be getting the Patreon as well too. I should be having the Patreon up, so you can go check that out in the description down below. The first video that we have is me reacting to Heartstopper Forever, and it is just so exciting. I'm so excited to be able to start doing that as well too, and kind of giving you guys more content as well too. If you also want to check out the books that I read in this video as well too, there will be links to them from bookshop.org down in the description below. If you're thinking of buying them, you can go ahead and buy them off of the site. If you are just like thinking like, maybe not, you can keep it in your cart if you want to, and you can support your local indie business, indie bookstores and such. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and I truly hope you guys have an amazing day, week, month, and year. See you later, friends.